we're going to give you a plethora of more information on how to take care of your yard organically without all those stinky synthetics.
And Michael Bosco is going to tell us how.
That's right. You're here live at 660 KSKY. Something that I know you're very passionate about, and it's very confusing to a lot of people just getting into the organic side of things. There's compost tea, which is the extraction of water from mulch or compost, so to speak.
It's a brewing cycle.
A brewing cycle. And then there's compost extract.
Exactly.
Give us first the brewing cycle and why it's not as great as the extraction process.
Well, the compost tea is what people refer to as an actively aerated compost tea, and that's where you're putting some compost in a bucket, a barrel, a fancy machine, and you're going to actively aerate it. That means you're going to be pumping air through it. The idea is to get the oxygen in there so that the microbes will feed. You want to grow things that need oxygen. There's anaerobic bacteria out there, and those are typically the pathogens. So what you want to do there is you're brewing things. You're growing those beneficial microbes, but you got a shelf life there. Within about 24 hours, it's done with this brew cycle. You need to get out there. You need to apply it, because as soon as you shut the oxygen off to it, you're going to start losing them. They're going to start dying on you.
So there's no real shelf life then?
There's not much of a shelf life at all. What it is a leachate.
Right.
You know, you're getting some of the nutrients off of it, but if it smells bad, that means you got anaerobic activity going, and those are bad guys.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the compost extraction, though, that you guys have basically perfected, explain that whole process and the difference.
The extract is what we're doing. We have a machine that takes compost. First off, you've got to have good compost, and this is important. You've got to good inputs means good outputs, and so you got to have good compost that smells good, that's got good biological activity. You got some hyphae growing in, you got bacteria. We put it under the microscope. We make sure it's there. So you got the good compost. You put it in the machine. It's going to basically, it's a high-pressure wash. It's going to wash the goodies off of it. It's going to put it into solution. It's going to kick the sticks and the carbon part of it out the back end, and we're going to apply the goodies.
So the carbon, the sticks, the branches gone.
It goes back into the compost pile.
And the juice goes into the truck. You bring the juice out. It's got a longer shelf life.
It's got a shelf life of about a week or more.
And then you apply it just like you would see these other companies apply.
You got all the goodies that compost has without the expense of having to apply bulk organic matter, which it can be difficult sometimes to find good compost anyway.
You're taking the compost that you've used and you're taking it back to the compost pile, mixing it back up again.
That's right.
It's all good.
You're reactivating
So you're not using a thing other than the microbes and the bacteria you've generated in that compost pile.
The humic acid, the fulvic acid, the oleic acid, all the nutrients, the mineral content, and the microbes.
And I would imagine that you're not using chlorinated water when you're
We're
putting
having
this
to
process.
filter the water. You either need to be pulling it from a pond, you got to be pulling it from a well, and you need to check that, or you need to be running it through a carbon filter.